Coimbatore. So on behalf of all of us, I am very grateful to Mr. Sarvana Prakash for accepting our request and being here to share his knowledge and expertise to all the young minds who is going to be the future leaders and going to rule the India as well as world too. So please be interactive, utilize the session. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Once again, our heartfelt welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you. Now I request Ms. Mridula to give the press introduction.
We are honored to have Mr. Sarvana Prakash Dharmalingam, architect and system engineer for EV charging systems, Bosch Global Software Solutions in our SKCT campus. He completed his Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical, Electronics and Communication Engineering from Government College of Technology, Coimbatore. He did his Masters of Technology in Power Electronics and Control in Electric Vehicle from National Institute of Technology, Karnataka. He has about 14 years of work experience in automotive embedded solutions for both diesel and gasoline engine management. 3 years of international work experience at Robert Bosch, North America, and 1 year of international work experience at Bosch Global, Germany. He is currently working at systems, Bosch Coimbatore. He has 5 invention reports filed in different areas, and he is a rank holder and a gold medalist in technical education. Thank you.
Please, sir.
ரேஞ்சும் கரெக்டாக இருக்கு கரெக்டாக இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Good morning, friends. How are you doing? Great. Hope everybody had a breakfast. Okay. Maybe the breakfast is heavy, that may be the effect. Okay. Guys, this is never going to be the presentation that I am only speaking and you guys are listening and sleeping. So this is going to be the kind of interactive session. So I will be standing or I will be walking over the area. Maybe feel free to stop me in case if you have any questions. If you are not stopping, I will stop for the questions because I have a couple of questions in the slides. So with that note, maybe we can start. I think you already had my introduction. I am myself Sarvana Prakash Dharmalingam, working in Bosch for almost it's going to be 16 years now. So currently we are working mainly in the EV charging systems, how we can do a better charging systems. So currently we are working on it. When your college staffs were asking me to could you please think about the future trends in your area and could you please give me some insight in about it. Even this was quite interesting topic for me too, because I was thinking what would be the future. Then I just looked into a lot of details. We know the few details, but it's not very detailed, but I was just looking at the details. It was quite surprising for me to know the political influence on the decisions. So now everybody is talking about EV, right? So considering this in mind, I had a few slides and I have taken my presentation into two kind of areas. considering a mobility, we say mobility or automotive, we can split the technology into two. One is the driving technology, another one is the comfort technology. Driving technology means the technology that powers your wheel, like your engine or battery or e-motor. This considered to be a driving technology. The comfort technology, we would say after the vehicle is moved, then you have a technology to give you a comfort like driving comfort, safety, infotainment, suspension, everything is come under the comfort functions. So today's slides and the discussions mainly going on the driving functions. So what are the functions, what are the technologies which is going to be in future for driving functions, not on the comfort functions. I have a little touch on the driving functions. So that's an idea for today's session. Next slide. Yeah, this is going to be like today agenda. Problem to be discussed on fossil fuel mobility, push for change. Do you know what is fossil fuel? Yes? Non-renewable energy sources. Okay. In general, the diesel, petrol is considered to be a fossil fuel. So problem to be discussed on fossil fuel mobility. So what is the current problem? Why we are moving towards the next technologies? What is the problem? So this we are going to discuss as a first agenda point. The second one is the diverse options for mobility. What are the different options possible considering a mobility? Mobility means, mobility becomes a new term for automotive. So we always say mobility. So mobility means you can consider as automotive. What are the diverse possibilities for an automotive? Then electric vehicle. Where we stand today and what's our strategy for future? Currently where we are now and what is our strategy for the next upcoming decades? Another interesting topic is hydrogen, whether it makes a meaningful future for mobility. This we can see whether it could be possible looking at the technology. Then we have something you may be aware or maybe you are currently using it. It is alternative fuels. Apart from diesel, gasoline, we have some other alternative fuels. How this could be helpful for our sustainable future. And as I promised, the comfort features, where we are standing today with the comfort features. And the roadmap for mobility, it's based on my guts feel, how this will be like this, but that's subject to change, because as a technical person I can decide something, but as a government they can make a policies and they have to look for a lot of details to confirm the technology will be exist for some time. So we can't really predict a future in very well advanced, because it subject to change because of the lot of factors influencing those technologies. Okay, then next one. Yeah, this is maybe the picture itself explains why there is a change needed, why there is a push for a change from fossil fuel to other way of doing it. Maybe someone can explain. What is the problem? Why we are has to move out of the fossil fuel? Pollution, CO2, CO2 emissions, pollutions, which constitute global warming. Anything else? Price of the fossil fuel. Okay.
Availability.
Okay.
Is it okay whether I am audible to you, guys? Guys sitting in the last, whether I am audible?
Okay. Okay. Price, CO2 emissions, pollution. What else?
Availability.
Availability.
Importing of fossil.
Importing of fossil fuels. Someone is exporting, we are importing, which is eating a lot of our economy, right? Okay, any other reasons?
Exhaustive nature of fossil fuels.
Exhaustive nature of?
Fossil fuels.
Okay, great. That's a very good point. Safety of, it's a safety concern basically, right? But unfortunately, the safety concerns were already addressed because this technologies exist for the last 10 decades, right? It's almost more than 100 years we are using this technology. We are safe enough.
No, I mean, at some point of time it will get exhausted. and you won't have that resource.
Yeah, it's the shortage of supply basically. Okay. I think there's something on the third picture, right? What is that white smoke?
Pollution. Pollution.
Pollution?
Emission.
Pollution, we are all talking about the pollution which happens after the petrol came out of the well, right? What about the pollution happening during the refinery process itself? See, the third picture explains the process which involves refining the petrol and diesel. So actually that emits a lot of emission than the vehicle emitting the emissions. So that is also a biggest problem. Since we are importing it, we doesn't know about it, but it's the countries who are exporting, they are really facing this scenario. Actually, this increases the global temperature by 2 degrees. So we are digging from the air and taking out, and this process takes a lot of energy, and that's creating a main global warming than the road transport. Okay, the interesting point here is like mobility. We are talking about different technologies for future, but considering emission, it's not your only the car or a bus or your two-wheeler. We have something else also creating an emission, right? Pollutions. Why there is no alternate technologies for that? Anybody thought about it? Because we say because global warming, we think the road transport is the biggest point which is creating all this global warming. But it's not, that's not the case. Road transport is only 30% emitting the pollutions. But there is other industries which is polluting the emissions. But there is interesting, even I was not aware why there is no such norms for them. Government is pushing that every one using a transport, they have to move towards the electrification or some other alternate technologies. But I could see that there is no kind of norms for the industries. They are also emitting a lot, but I don't know. So all started in 2016. There is something called a Dieselgate issues. After that, everyone came sit together and they were talking about global warming in Paris. And they decided something called a Paris Climate Agreement that everyone should sign. Which means they had an agreement. So the fossil fuel vehicles, the internal combustion engines, which is using the fossil fuel, creating the emissions, which is creating the global warming. So we have to reduce the emissions coming out of the ICE engine. So they given two possibilities. You can reduce the emissions coming out of the ICE engine, or you can move to the alternate technology. Then most of the OEMs like Tata, Mahindra, or Audi, BMW, they consider to be a OEM. They are car manufacturers, right? OEM means original equipment manufacturers. So those OEMs decided, and they want to go with the alternate technology for the future mobility. And they suggested that we will go with the electric vehicle. Why they decided with the electric vehicle? Why not for other technologies? Why they jumped from diesel, gasoline to electric vehicle? Why not to alternate fuel or something else? Any reason? Anybody know? Those who are following Tesla, they might be knowing it. Because 2008 Tesla released the first e-vehicle in the market, and they were able to successfully run the show for the 1 decade. I think by the time 2016 or 2017, Tesla has already biggest market of electric vehicle. And now government is saying, the regulations are saying that you have to change to the different technology. Then everyone was thinking about alternate fuels. Well, go to some alternate fuels. But someone saying this, the technology is already proven by Tesla. Why can't we take it and move it forward? I think that was a reason that all OEMs has decided to go for electric vehicle. But if you ask me whether electric vehicles are really green, no. Why?
So the batteries used for the electric EV cars are...
Battery, yeah, you can start up.
So the batteries used for EV cars are not so much of safe because, after the usage of the batteries, we have put the batteries in place.
No, now if you consider battery recycling, we have a lot of technologies. We can recover as much as possible from the existing batteries.
Yes.
That's not a real problem.
Yes.
You can just, there will be another reasons. Yes?
can we talk about 1, 6 and 9 route by the check to make a raw material for dynamic fuel cost is equal to one making of one EV car, and the extraction of raw materials is 6 to 4 times this it causes desertification and it causes more pollution than extracting fossil fuels.
Give a great round of applause for him.
You told EV is battery recyclable, but can we say EV is for rich?
EV is for?
For rich. To change or recycle battery, it takes about changing cost takes about aspect data, which is leading manufacturer of EV in India. It takes about 10 lakhs to change the batteries in your car after 8 years.
Exactly. I think if you talk about that in terms of a cost for a technologies, the technology should be commercialized as quick as possible. I think that solves our problem. Once everyone starts using it, then it's become, because when the Tesla started, 1 kilowatt hour battery was $500. Now it's reduced up to $90.
That's because China is producing large number of lithium resource for Tesla, and China is producing their own lithium reserve. Because China is producing for USA and for China, so that is the reason. So we have large number of lithium resource. We have found lithium resource in India and Australia too. But even though we import, there's a lot of child laborers are used in production of batteries. So that is also a concern. This reported by BCC.
Okay,
BBC.
great. I think he has a lot of points than me. Great. Yeah, the points, we were thinking EV is really green. I accept, yes, EV is really green, provided your grids are getting power from the renewables. I got it right. So when you ask Ohm's law, can you please say Ohm's law, someone? V is equal to? Right. Guys, Ohm's law please. V is equal to? Sorry?
Voltage is directly proportional to current.
Yeah.
When the temperature is constant.
When
the temperature is constant.
That is very important. Our Ohm's law is applicable at constant temperature. If temperature changes, what changes?
Resistance.
Resistance changes. That will not applicable for Ohm's law. At the same way, EVs are greener. EVs are perfectly fine when you are charging your vehicle and the charging power comes from the renewables. Okay? Until unless if you are still using your traditional way of generating a power and you are saying EV, which means for at least to me, instead of vehicle producing emission, someone else will producing the emissions. End of the day, the net profit is same. So we have to be very careful. If someone asks you about whether EV is really green, then you have to say yes, it will be green, provided the charging power comes from the renewables. If it is non-renewables, then it makes sense. If it is, you can use fossil fuel or electric vehicle, end of the day result is same. Yeah, in addition to this, the problem with the EV, I would say the problem is not with the EV technology. It's not about problem with the technology, because we have a very good sophisticated technologies available to move a vehicle. The problem with the battery material extracting. So especially the lithium ion, we say it's a rare earth materials. So when you say lithium ion batteries, they will give Li, NMC. NMC means nickel, manganese, cobalt. These materials are rarely available in Earth. It's maybe a very, very minimum amount is available. So if we start extracting it from world, then we will be getting the same issue like a fossil fuel. It will be short for a time, after some time. So this is a concern which needs to be addressed in the EV. Maybe the battery technologies, the rare earth materials which we have to talk. But considering that, next slide. So these are the different options available for mobility. At least this is applicable for another two decades. Maybe for next 20 years, this is going to be the technology. The first one is the fossil fuel based vehicle. Whether this will be completely ruled out, at least for another 10 to 15 years, this is not a case. This will be still up there. The second one is the electric vehicle, which we already discussed now. Then third one is the hydrogen based fuel cell electric vehicle. I hope you know about this fuel cell means. So the same electric vehicle, instead of a battery, there is a component called the fuel cell which generates electricity which will power up the wheel. Then the fourth thing is the hydrogen based internal combustion engine. Your same engine, instead of a fossil fuel, you try to combust hydrogen and air, which will produce the less emission than the fossil fuel. So that is another technology is getting booming now, because anyway we need a hydrogen for fuel cell applications and also for industry application. Why can't we build up a hydrogen internal combustion engines? So this is quite applicable for a commercial vehicle, like where you have a truck, bus, right? So they are trying out with this technology, the hydrogen based internal combustion engine. Then last one is the alternate fuels. It's instead of a fossil fuel, we'll try to have a synthetic fuel, or you know E10, E20, what it means?
Ethanol.
Yeah, it's ethanol. So we are an agriculture-based country. So producing ethanol is for us, it's very easy. Compare than other Gulf countries or European countries, where here using agriculture waste and other stuffs, we can able to produce the ethanol. So we'll talk about this later in the coming slides. Next one. Any doubts on before the slide? Do you think some other options apart from this?
CNG.
Yeah, that's become alternate fuel. Alternate fuel is your natural gas, LPG, CNG, everything become alternate fuels. I am not talking about CNG because this is already well known. Okay. This is electric car sales from 2010 to 2023. And you're able to see, right? At least some colors are different. And also this graph shows the increasing trend all over the world. It's not only in India, it's all over the world. It's showing the increasing trend. And you can just see that red color. That red color is the cars available in China. Then blue color is the Europe. Then third one is the United States. Then last one is the others. You can just see China is leading the EV market. Then followed by Europe. Then US is on third place. Okay. Any reason how China is leading this market? Any of you know what is the reason? How they are able to penetrate the EVs in their market? Why India is struggling? How China is doing that? Any idea? How China is able to?
So governance, sir. Easy to implement laws in China.
Easy to implement?
Laws in China than India.
Okay, laws. Okay, laws will become once you are getting into the market.
Sir, availability of resources and population.
Availability of resource. Even China doesn't have any lithium. Even China doesn't have any cobalt or manganese. You know, guys, this is maybe getting little political, but still it's okay to know from my point of view. If you take 100% of lithium refineries, 100 refineries, 85 refineries run by China. 85 refineries done by China. So they already hold the market of refineries and they are able to get the lithium, and now they become a monopoly after some time and they are just exporting it to other countries. So that's how they are able to earn the revenue, and also since they are owners of the lithium, they are able to produce less cost batteries for their market. And if obviously if there is a low cost compared to your ICE vehicle, the people are tend to buy, right? So if EVs are coming for 5 lakh, 6 lakh, who will go for petrol? So that's the end user mindset, right? So they were able to produce a low cost EVs, and that penetrates the China market easily. So how they achieve this? Like they are just obtained all the lithium refineries projects from all over the world. So not only in Africa or South America. You know there is a lithium triangle, right? There is something called a lithium triangle. The lithium is mainly available in South America, Africa, then Australia. They are the kind of considered to be a suppliers of maximum lithium. So these everywhere China had their refineries. Maybe I would say they are very early to the market. I think they smelled this technology is going to be the future, and they you are going to be the market follower. So our idea, I think the idea from government is like we want to be a market leaders in supply technology. So how we have to make this sustainable growth. Growth means it's not that we are growing up and we are coming down. Growth means it should be sustainable. It could be exponential or linear, whatever may be, but it should be sustainable. It's going the upward. It should not come down. So that's an idea for Indian government. You can just see the other slide. This is EV sales in India 2023. So we have 2021, 2022, 23 two-wheelers and three-wheelers, four-wheelers commercial. And interestingly, Paris Climate Agreement says that EV 30 at 30. Did you know about this term, EV 30 at 30? There is a lot of countries signed for that agreement. EV 30 at 30 means by 2030, the vehicle sales at your country should be 30% electric. Actually, India signed in that agreement in 2017 itself. Which means they got 13 years. In the 13 years, they have to move the complete fossil fuel vehicles. Not completely, at least 30% of the fossil fuel vehicles should be replaced by an electric vehicle. Do you think this could be possible for India? Why this not possible for other countries? Why it's possible for India? America reluctantly said no. This is very difficult to achieve. But what about for us? How we have said, oh, yes, we can achieve it. How this could be possible? It's very simple. India has the biggest market of vehicles in all segments. It could be a two-wheeler or three-wheeler or four-wheeler. If you take 100 cars getting registered means almost 70% of the vehicle is going to be two-wheeler or three-wheeler or max four-wheeler. So converting those segment into electric is very easy. And also India has a very biggest market for two-wheeler and three-wheeler, right? So it's very easy. I think that with that confidence India signed yes, will be able to achieve. I think now the science shows that they are able to achieve. They will be going to achieve 2030. EV 30 by 2030 and EV 100 by 2050. So these are the two campaigns running from the Paris Climate Agreement. In 2030, 30% electric. In 2050, 100% electric. But EV 100, India was like kind of tentative. But EV 30, they have said, yes, we will go. So that's how we are moving with the electric vehicle. So to promote this strategy, in order to achieve the Paris Climate agreements, what government has been done. So they are given a lot of government has done a lot of strategies like FAME 1. You might have heard about this name, FAME. So faster adaptation and manufacturing of electric and hybrid vehicles. So they introduced the two schemes, FAME 1 and FAME 2. Now FAME 2 is almost done, and, which is giving a subsidies for EV vehicle. If you buy a scooter or maybe a car, you will get some subsidies like 30,000, 40,000, and if it is for a car, it's 1.5 lakhs. So these schemes, these subsidies are coming under this scheme called FAME. So then they given the tax benefit. There is no road tax for the electric vehicle, and also they have given this protection linked incentive to boost the global companies into Indian market. If you want to build a EV, so government is giving a lot of subsidies for those companies. So that's why we are improving the ecosystem for EV. And also now government also has a goal for public transport. It's not only a private transport that the government is pushing us to do more EV. The government itself is moving towards EV. So they are taking all government vehicles, they are trying to change into buses, like buses or the government cars, everything are getting converted into an EV. I think by 2030, government wants to have all their vehicles on EV. So that's the plan. And actually, what would be the problem for EV to penetrate in the market? Why the EVs are?
Lack of charging stations.
Lack of?
Charging stations. Currently we are less in numbers. And the range of the EV vehicles we can see.
Okay, there is a 2 points. One is the charging infrastructure not exist. It's not available as like a fossil fuel stations. Second one is the range anxiety. So which means that I'm really worried about my range of car, I don't know where it is going to stop and what can we do. I think we have a technologies already working on it. We have something called a battery swapping. So we are already working on it. And charging infrastructure, government is already taken a step. So they given a permission that each individual can start their own charging station with your domestic current, which means with your domestic the home supply. You can build your charging station and you can sell the energy. And you doesn't need any license for that. Only thing is like you have to, for an example, if you are in Coimbatore, you can build a charging station on your own, or maybe you can get it from some charging station supplier. They can build it. Maybe if you are on highways or if you are in the roadways, if you have a parking space, you can build your charging station. You can create a business models for that. So government is okay with that. So government want that only the charging station provider has to build the charging station. It doesn't mean that. Even our owners, the house owners, the private players can build a charging stations. I think with this rule, there's a lot of people, those who are in the metropolitan cities, they are also able to build charging stations. And I think after some time, maybe down the line 2 to 3 years, I think you'll be able to see a lot of charging stations available. I think now itself the trends are changing. Compared to last year, this year I could see a lot of changes in the Coimbatore itself. Hopefully the things will change up. Because this has become a, I think for a government this has become a chicken egg story. The OEM says if I'm able to sell a lot of vehicles, then I can build a charging station. Then customer says no, if charging stations are available, I can able to buy a. This has become a kind of a deadlock. OEM says customer has to buy. Customer says no, OEM has to build a charging station first. So that's why government is getting in and they are giving a lot of possibilities to improve this situation. Hope the situations are getting improved soon. Next slide. Okay, maybe this is a point of discussions. Maybe if someone can conclude our discussion. Will EV penetration in Indian market make self-sustainable growth for automotive market? Do you think increasing the EV in Indian market gives us a self-sustainability? Do you think 100% EV makes sense from your point of view? Guys, maybe one big story about EV vehicle before we get into this. Do you think EV, the electric vehicle, is new to the market? No? Do you know when the first EV was launched? Sorry? You have 1847, you said 1847, okay. And what else? Any thoughts from back? This side becomes so silent, I don't know why. Give some random numbers. Maybe your birthday year is also okay. 80? Yeah, it become sometimes in the 1880s. The first EV vehicle was in the commercial market. It was there in 90s itself, right? Why it's we are talking the technology now? Why, what happened in between? Where this technology went out? Why this was not successful? Efficiency of the vehicle was good actually. It was good. They were able to achieve 80% of efficiency during the time itself.
Compared to fossil fuel,
Still we are not able to get 40% of efficiency from the fossil fuel. Even with a lot of technologies we involved, a lot of electronic units are involved. Even nowadays, the recent vehicles, Audi, Q5 or whatever maybe you take, it's not 40% efficient. What is the reason? What would be the reason why the electric vehicles was not successful, at least for the last 10 decades? Now it's become more successful, sustainable. Why it was not sustainable? That was my question. Awareness. No, they had a good awareness. They were able to the General Motors. the US OEM is there, right? They are able to commercialize this in market. And people are already aware that there is a vehicle. I think in 1900s, the problem is like you have electric vehicle, but where is the electricity? Right? Where is the electricity? That was a concern. The electricity was not commercialized like before, like this. That was a reason that everybody is like, okay, where I can charge it. I think that was a kind of end point for an electric vehicle. Then 1900, I think around 2000, Tesla was started this race again. Why can't we do this? Considering this current technologies available in the power transfer and power generation. So that's how it's again get into this. So electric vehicle technology is quite older than the fossil fuel, than the internal combustion. The commercialization of domestic, that the power was, the electric power was a problem there. Okay, now just keeping this in mind, do you think this will EV penetration in India make self-sustainable growth? Do you think 100% of EV makes sense from your point of view? Any idea? If, okay, maybe by the time of 2040, all the vehicles are electric, will you accept it?
No, sir.
Yes? No? Why? Yes means why yes, no means why no.
Yes.
EV doesn't give the feel when we ride the fossil fuel vehicles. Okay.
Feel of engines.
Feel of engine sounds.
Feel of engine.
Sounds.
It's become more fancy word now. Feel of engine. No. Not possible. Or why you feel that 100% EV is possible?
You need to have a main value product. For example, so if you take lithium, so one, as long as it is inside a car, it doesn't break. So once we are extracting those, it creates 4 times pressure as compared to IC.
No, those are all technical complexity. Okay, let's consider there is no technical barriers. No technical barriers. You just consider only from the end user point of view. Or maybe you can consider from the government point of view. There's only 2 point of views. One is the government point of view and end user point of view. If I'm giving you EV with a low cost, will you buy it or not? Yes. Then what else about your concern about lithium, all those blah blah blah? Gone, right?
Production of electricity should be high now.
Exactly.
Then we should rely on
Exactly, that is a point. Production of electricity. Now itself we are already 10% deficit for our regular household appliances. Now the recent trends are increasing. We are using all electrical components, electronic components, which demands a lot of power. In addition to this, if we are integrating the electric vehicle charging into our grid, this becomes a grid overloading situation. So considering all this, government itself also thinking will make sense to bring all 100% vehicles as EV. I think that is the biggest reason. So we need a power infrastructure which could going to be the backbone for electric vehicle charging that is not really being made. We haven't made it, and it's not practically not possible to make it also. Considering our population and the amount of electronic component we use, it's very difficult. Okay, good. I think that is the reason. This is my personal feel. EV 100% doesn't make sense, at least to me. We should need diversified portfolio. That is not only EV, we should have something else. We should have some other technologies which is also incorporating EV. It's not only EV. That's my feel. I think government is also thinking in that direction. That's how I can feel it now. They are promoting fuel cell electric vehicles. They are also promoting the green hydrogen generation power, the production of green hydrogen. And they are also promoting ethanol, the kind of alternative fuels. So considering this in a mind, it looks like government is really thinking about all this. So with that note, 100% EV doesn't make sense from my point of view. I have given the reason. If you have maybe the reasons to counteract on this, please feel free to discuss. Okay, if no, then we can move. Okay, hydrogen. What is hydrogen? H2? That's water. H2O is water. Could you please zoom in a little bit? Okay. Do you think using hydrogen as an energy source, is it new to the market? Do you think is it new to the market?
Existing one.
Existing? Not existing? Any thoughts? I think ma'am you have some point? No. Okay, hydrogen, is it new to the technology or it's a kind of a new technology we are talking or it's already exist? Exist means where it exists? Where? Rocket fuel. Okay. So that's one option. Rocket fuel they are already using hydrogen. You are right. Rocket engines uses the hydrogen as a fuel. So we say white petrol, right? Any other things? So there was a history for hydrogen also, like a EV. The hydrogen also was in the market in 1800s. Even the chips were running with hydrogen. So there was a big chip. It's like a Titanic, and that chip was running with this hydrogen fuel. And unfortunately, that was burned. It met an accident, it burned. That is a Hindenburg accident. Maybe if you look into the YouTube or maybe Google it, you can able to find it. So after that, the trust on the hydrogen become down. So everybody is like thinking, is it really make sense or is it safe? Because I think around 100 or 130 members were died in that accident. I think that then after that the trust for the hydrogen was reduced and it's become like faded out throughout the decades. So, but now in 2000, I would say 2015, after 2015, where really each technological makers like OEMs and the technological suppliers like Bosch or Kaal, everybody were looking for an alternative technology because they were pushed to come out of the fossil fuel. I think that time again they were taken up. This is something like Tamil சொல்றது இல்லையா பட்டி டிங்கரிங் பார்த்து ஒரு பழைய டெக்னாலஜியை தான் தூக்கி கொண்டு வந்து நம்ம கிட்ட புது டெக்னாலஜி கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. Like that same applicable for EV and the same applicable for hydrogen. Hydrogen was very old technology. Now they are just making patti tinkering. Now we are just taking it to look okay. Let's move towards the hydrogen. Let's talk about the difficulties we faced in the past. So that's how the hydrogen is now into the picture. But the hydrogen is not only made for a road transport, which means not only for mobility. Hydrogens were already used by a lot of industries. You can able to see the transport industry is using, and you have residential buildings. Like there is something called a stationary solid oxide fuel cells, where it uses the hydrogen or a natural gas to generate power. It will act as a generator. So there it's already used. And you have industries like a thermal industry, process industries. Industries also using a lot of hydrogen-based supply. Maybe on top of it, you can just see how this hydrogen can be generated. Any idea? Hydrogen is H, right?
Water.
The water we have a H2O.
Electrolysis.
I think if you take O, then it becomes hydrogen, right? It's very simple as that.
No, sir.
Why?
So the separation is explosive. If you try to separate hydrogen and oxygen from water, it will cause explosion.
Okay. Do you know what is the process which is helping us to split electrolysis? I think you guys have studied in chemistry, right? Sorry, I haven't studied 11th, so I haven't done. So when somebody said first time electrolysis, I was thinking, what is electrolysis means? Yeah, that's the process, electrolysis. But what is the problem with electrolysis? Process itself. To do this electrolysis process, you need a lot of energy. unfortunately that energy needs to come from the coal generator. So that's where we are really struggling for the supply of hydrogen. So to generate hydrogen, we need an electrolysis process. Do you think only the electrolysis is the process which could give you the hydrogen? You can just something else also, this side. You can just see natural gas, solar thermal biomass, coal. There also we can generate hydrogens, right? Because it also has the hydrogen component in it. CH something. CH4. CH4. I think I could see a lot of chemical engineers. Engineering is good. Yeah, we can do it from the coal, or also we can do it from the biogas or something, right? Why we are not doing that? Okay, there is a question, there is answer on the next slide. Hydrogen topics, like how this hydrogen is brought into the now and into the picture. Okay, next slide. Yeah, you can just see the primary fuel has to go. That's the electrolysis process. There is another called gas and coal. So reforming or pyrolysis, there is a two different process. So when we follow this electrolysis process, if the hydrogen is generated, that is called a green hydrogen, which doesn't emit any kind of emissions during the extraction process. But if you see other side, you have a kind of an emissions. If it is coming from coal or gas, that is called black or grey or brown hydrogen. I think this code word is very commonly applicable internationally. It's not only for India, it's commonly applicable. When we say green hydrogen, blue hydrogen or grey hydrogen, which means green is the real green. So if you say I am using green hydrogen, you are kind of emission free. Because why emission free means you already extracted the hydrogen without any emissions. So that's why if you are using, if you combust hydrogen also, you don't get any emission. That's a possible. That's why it says it's a green hydrogen. And the second is the black or blue or brown. So all this type of hydrogens will have the kind of emissions. But the amount of emissions are a bit different in different colors. So that's the reason we given a different colors. Okay, let's talk about this green hydrogen, because the other hydrogens were already used in the market. Now we are really having a difficulties to create a green hydrogen. Okay. What about this electrolysis process? We need electricity, right? If we use the coal electricity, did we say its electrolysis process is a green? Do we say it's a green hydrogen? No. So the electrolysis process needs an electricity. That electricity should come from renewables, like a solar panel or a photovoltaic or wind energy. Yeah, all this hydro energy. So that's where we are thinking. India is really thinking about use of our own environmental conditions. I think we are blessed. We are the only country in world having exactly 12 hours night, 12 hours morning. Okay, I think let's make use of this. What I say is like a geographical advantage. So I think now government is also thinking about it. Why can't we use this geographical advantages to generate a hydrogen? Even yesterday newspapers, I think I'm not sure it's yesterday or the day before yesterday, we have already created some 6 metric ton of green hydrogen using the renewables. This happened in Gujarat. But interestingly, if you see the market, if you see the hydrogen, maybe hydrogen we can just see as two markets. One is the hydrogen generation and hydrogen usage. Interestingly, already Reliance, Tata, companies like Reliance, Tata, they are already into the world market. They are already talking about the green hydrogen production, so the electrolysis process. How better efficiently take this electrolysis process. actually now the companies like Tata, Reliance, they are just going front and they want to capture this market. Right? So we need to invest a lot. I think that was the biggest reason that solar is still kind of struggling to come to the commercial market. I think once that's getting commercial market, the renewables are getting into a commercial market, then electrolysis become very easy. Then we can lead the hydrogen market. From my point of view, I feel hydrogen economy looks more promising for Indian economy. Maybe you guys would come to know, maybe after 10 years you may see a lot of hydrogen based cars, two-wheelers. Maybe I'm not sure two-wheelers, at least cars and long haul vehicles, the trucks, buses would be possible. So I can able to see this changes happening in the industry also. So already Bosch and other companies are already started working on this hydrogen technologies. How we can bring the better. So we are mainly working on production and also on the how we can effectively use the hydrogen in the vehicles. So as a Bosch, we are working on both sides. Electrolysis process also we are working, and also how we can make use of the hydrogen. We are also. Any questions on the hydrogen generation or other things? Okay, let's talk about the truth behind this. Why we are not talking about shortage of hydrogen? Maybe if we start using the hydrogen also, this become short, right, in future, like fossil fuel or lithium ion or rare earth materials. Why we are not thought about it? Where hydrogen is available? Where hydrogen is available, everywhere it's available. That's the reason. It's available excessively. Even if you take out how much, it still exists. So that's the reason people are thinking this is going to be the promising one. Because you have a water, you have a coal, you have a blah blah blah. Lot of things will have a hydrogen element in it. So extracting it and using it is very easy. Your salt waters, even the sea water has a lot of hydrogen. So that's the reason the companies and the governments also thinking the hydrogen going to be the next game changer for the energy market. It's not only for automotive, it's for a complete energy market where the industries needs an energy. Like it may be a electrical supply, or it may be a coal, or it may be a fossil fuel, whatever may be. Okay, what is the challenges and opportunity with hydrogen? So the first point is producing green hydrogen needs more electrical energy, which needs to be generated from renewables. This is a real challenge. We have to work on it. Then transporting of hydrogen via road and pipeline. So this is very extremely dangerous. Hydrogen is very light element, it is easily flammable. So it's very difficult that you have to keep it in a pressure. If this pressure is reduced, then it will easily escape. Yeah, this is the biggest concern for hydrogen. When we talk about hydrogen, people thinking about how I could transport. Maybe I can produce it in one place with some safety all taken. But if it is on the road, if something happens, what happens? So transporting hydrogen becoming a biggest topic. So people are thinking that we can use the pipeline concept, how we use it for natural gas. But the hydrogen pipelines needs a lot of safety critical things needs to be taken into consideration. Okay, then infrastructure demands and costs involved. So that's what I said. Then mindset change. Do you know what mindset change means? The fear we have with hydrogen, that mindset needs to be updated, it needs to be changed. That's very important. That we have to understand that when fossil fuel came, everybody were really scared of using diesel gasoline because it can fire. The same case for now with batteries. I think this is the same mindset we need to have it for hydrogen. This takes some time, but this mind change should happen very fast. Then safety regulations and policies. This is not yet to be defined. At least for a transport sector, it's yet to be defined. I'm not sure about industry. At least for a transport sector, usage of hydrogen and how this safely handled, the regulations needs to be defined yet. Then opportunity. What kind of an opportunity we have hydrogen? Hydrogen industry started growing, so early comers enjoy the benefit and become some market drivers. Instead of market followers, we will become a market drivers. I could see a mindset in the government and also with the industries. They want to be a market leaders in the hydrogen economy. Let's see how these things goes. Scope for green hydrogen production is high in India because of the geographical advantage we have. We have to see how harvest we can do this with that. And self-sustainable energy sector which helps boost the Indian economy. So what it means, when you are not importing oil refinery items, almost 30 to 40% of economy within your hand, right? If you are able to produce a green hydrogen and if you are able to successfully consume it, then your energy sector needs are already done. You no need to import a lot of oil items from Russia or wherever it is. It actually boosts our economy. I think that is the kind of a idea the current government has it. Let's promote hydrogen as much as possible. You know that, right? I think 6 months or 8 months back, Nitin Gadkari came in the fuel cell electric vehicle, which is powered by hydrogen. It comes from Toyota. He came to the parliament in that vehicle. And everybody was looking, what is this? And everybody started looking, oh, what is this fuel cell? From where it's getting? How the energy is coming from? Yeah, it looks like government is pushing a lot for the hydrogen economy. Okay, the next. Okay, alternative fuels. CNG, LPG, natural gas, and what about ethanol? Is it new to the market? Using ethanol, there is a terminology called ethanol blend, which means you are mixing the ethanol, taking 90% petrol, 10% ethanol. That is called E10. Like E20 means you taking 80% ethanol, 20% petrol. Sorry, 80% petrol, 20% ethanol. So this is called E20. This is great for the petrol, right? Do you think this ethanol, using of ethanol is a kind of a new in the market?
No.
If you guys say yes or no. Okay, from where the ethanol is coming from? How this ethanol is produced? Any idea? Okay, ethanol is can be produced from maize, sugarcane, molasses, and also the agri, the rice waste. It can be produced from multiple options. So, country like India, we are basically an agriculture based. I think if we start using ethanol, then this become kind of a relief for the farmers who is harvesting the sugarcane, maize, all this stuff. But using ethanol is not new. Maybe there is a history behind the ethanol also, like electric vehicle and the hydrogen. So there is a history behind the ethanol. So the first the ethanol was introduced or maybe produced in Brazil. Okay, Brazil is well known for sugarcane harvesting. I think in 1970s, I'm not able to remember exact year. I think 1970s they had a very huge sugarcane harvesting. They were not able to sell. And using that, they were able to produce ethanol, and they started using it in the vehicle. Then this was able to give a better mileage and less emissions. Then they started this trend. So everything started from Brazil. You know, in Brazil they have E100, which means the vehicle runs only in ethanol, not even a 10% petrol. And after looking at this, then America find that even with the maize they can produce ethanol. But the problem with America is like they can't use 800. They can use up to E85 because there is a geographical situation. Because they have the winter, summer is very less time, winter is, then in the winter ethanol behaves something different than the fossil fuels. So that's the reason they don't use it E85 grade during winter, and they use it only during the summer. But what is the blend used in India? Any idea? E20. E20? I think it started from E10. Now we are moving towards E20. I think government is planning to have E50 also, maybe in down the line 2 to 3 years. But do you think which makes sense to use the ethanol for Indian market? What is your thought? Technologically it gives a benefit. Yes, as we are using ethanol gives a benefit. Technologically it will reduce the emissions and also it gives a better mileage than fossil fuel. But using ethanol for in India, which makes sense from your point of view or not? From my point of view, yes. Your point of view. Okay, let's ask this question. Why government is only allowing E20? Why not E50 or E60? So we have to think about the problems if we use E50 or E80. Technically we don't have any problem. Our vehicle can still run. The problem is like the ethanol production uses the food materials, right? Like maize or sugarcane or maybe rice materials. If government says, hey, you can use 800, then no food for us, no maize to eat, no sugarcane to eat, no sugar. But everybody starts giving to the industries. I think that's the reason government is really restricting on that. Brazil is able to use it because they were able to produce it. It's always extra. They started with E20, 30s, and now we are able to go until E100. But that's not the case for us. We just started with E10, now we are up to E20. And the government do the study on this, and based on this they can take the decision. But that is the main reason why we are restricted until only E20. This is the reason. We have agriculture farm, they can farm or they can do it. But the problem is like, if we start consuming ethanol more, then it's become a kind of a problem for food. Next slide. Okay, ethanol policy on India is based on 5 pillars: income of farmer, domestic sugar industry, improve air quality, new investments and job creation, and reduce oil import bill. This is what we discussed. The oil import bill. The import of oil is getting reduced when we start using ethanol. If we use 80-20 means instead of buying 100 liters, you can buy only 80 liters, 20 liters produced by your own. That's an idea. Okay. Roadmap for mobility. Here I want someone to explain the slide. Who wants to do it? You want to do it?
No, sir.
You want to do a camera? One of you want to just look at the picture, just see. That's okay. Let's try it. That's okay. I'm saying that's okay. I can help you. Let's take this opportunity. What that picture looks like?
So it's a car, sir.
Car? Which car?
EV car charging station, sir.
EV car with charging station. What is this 2, 3, PC, SUV? You know? 2 means 2 wheeler.
Yes, sir. Three wheeler.
3 wheeler.
And FU means it's sports utility basically. We have the Innova and other stuff, right? Sports utility. What about the second one?
So H2 sir. CV bus long haul
Long haul truck. CV means it's a commercial vehicle, separate vehicle. And bus, long haul truck is the different features. So that's then what about the other one?
passenger car.
See, passenger car and SUV. The picture is like it's a car together. Comes from so from this picture, what do you guys understand? What you guys think about the roadmap for e-mobility? How this will be? Any idea? Do you think this is acceptable? Do you think this is acceptable? So which means, this is my thought, maybe I am, but by looking at the industry, I'm just only talking in the context of India. I'm not talking in the context of Europe or US or Japan. Okay? I'm talking in the context of India. So looking at the changes happening in the technologies and also the mindset and also the OEM driven, I could see the electric will play a major role in the two-wheeler market, three-wheeler market and passenger car, SUVs. This could be an electric, this could be possible. I think with the existing infrastructure, we will be able to manage. But making your truck bus into electrification, this could be happen for very limited possibilities. It's not that all buses and commercial vehicle will be converted to electric. But for a commercial vehicle and bus, I could see a hydrogen is the best option. So it could be a fuel cell electric vehicle or it could be a hydrogen based internal combustion engine, whatever may be. And coming to the alternate fuel, that is ethanol based or maybe a CNG or something, this could be a market for a passenger car or a sports utility vehicle. So this is the thing I could think of, considering the market trends and other stuff. So whatever we have discussed until now, this is getting concluded here. And also you can just see the title, Roadmap for Mobility, it's subject to change. Maybe it depends upon the government policies, regulations, how foreign countries are getting updated, because it doesn't mean that we are following the foreign countries, but somehow we have to align with them to get a technology or to exchange the technologies. So that's the reason it's subject to change. Maybe we have to see, maybe another 10 years how this is going to be. But at least by looking at the technology as of today, and I could see this could be the trend for the next 2 decades at least. Next. Okay, comfort features, where we stand today. So what is meant by comfort features? So already we have talked about the driving features, like the energy source which is driving the wheel, right? So like hydrogen or fossil fuel or electric vehicle, we discussed about it. The automotive industry is really getting into different diverse topics. So there is something called the AECE. That is automated, connected, electrified. So coming to the connected means, what is meant by connected? Your car is connected with via communication to the OEM backend or to the near car or to somewhere else. So your car is connected outside of your car. Your car is connected with the outside world. So that is called connected. So this is very much needed to sense the environment, to take some decisions. So nowadays you are seeing the emergency braking in the car, right? So these are all comes under the topic of connected. And also nowadays you are seeing the software updates are happening without your user intervention, right? This is also happening via the connected topics. Another thing is like the electrifications, which we have discussed now. This is very clear. Then ADAS. What is this ADAS means? What is ADAS? As a human, we make a tendency to, we make an error, right? This is very possible, very much possible. ADAS is advanced driver assistance system. It will assist you without your knowledge. It will take some control from you automatically to avoid some accident and all those stuff. That is called ADAS, advanced driver assistance system. What is ADS? ADAS is advanced driver assistance system. What is ADS? Sorry? Advanced? No, not advanced. Automated driver system? No. Automated? Autonomous driving system. So without driver, you are seeing cars are moving, right? That is the autonomous technology. So we have from level 1 to level 8. So some companies are already able to achieve up to level 3. So that is called ADS. So considering Indian context, you can just see the focus need. The main focus needed is the connected technology, electrification technology, and ADAS. But you see the ADS, the autonomous driving system. So our focus is 0. We are not really focusing on the autonomous driving system. So there is a government decision a couple of years back when Nitin Gadkari was asked by a reporter. So if autonomous driving comes into Indian roads, there could be a loss of 2 crore jobs. Because people who are driving the car as a drivers, they lose their job. So what is the decision from government? Then from Nitin Gadkari side, it's very clear that we don't allow ADS cars on the road. So that's the reason you see the focus needed is very low. Then coming to the tech readiness, so we already technically all the technologies are available. We are already tech ready. And then coming to the infrastructure readiness, for a connected vehicle we already have infrastructure is possible. For electrification we are still struggling, like the chicken egg story, the charging infrastructure and other stuff. And for ADAS, the infrastructure is still needed. It's not only one car. The cars on the road should have this kind of possibilities. Then coming to the technical cost, connected vehicle can be easily achieved. Electrification with moderate, and the ADAS also needs some cost involvement. Regulation wise, so everything needs a regulation. All these features needs a regulation. It's not that someone has implemented for their wish. No, it should be all these features should be regulated. Next. Yeah. Indian automotive outlook by 2030. So you can just see the 55% of cars by 2030 will be connected. A little bit soon. Yeah, thanks. Then electrification, we already discussed 30%. And ADAS, almost 45% of cars will have this ADAS functionality. And autonomous driving is 0. Coming to the commercial vehicle, we will have the 75% commercial vehicles are connected. On the electrification side, it will be 28% will be electrified. And ADAS, it will have a 65%. Why this ADAS functionality and the connected is very much important for long haul, the trucks, not for the passenger car. Sorry? Exactly. It travels a long distance, most of the time it's on the road. So they are very tendent to make mistakes and which will make an accident. If you take a statistics, almost 60 to 70% of accidents happens because of the commercial vehicles. So that's the reason this ADAS functionality, the advanced driver assistance and the connected is very much needed for a commercial vehicle. Then short haul commercial vehicles, these are like small vehicles. Yeah, but looking at that ADS, we are not really interested. It looks like by 2030 also we don't have any penetration of the ADS. Maybe 1 or 2%. This is for mainly premium segment cars. Next. Okay, I am done with my presentation. maybe it's time for you to ask any questions. I hope you are able to understand what would be the future for mobility. If you don't ask, then I will ask the questions. Is it okay? Looks like you're okay. Okay, hybrid technologies actually, when the hybrid technologies like you will have a petrol and electric vehicle together, like fossil fuel and electric vehicle together, that's called the hybrid technology. Actually, when this was started, we also had a very much scope because in 2010, 2011, no one thought about the electrification. Everybody talks about the hybridization, that we will use the fossil fuel vehicle and the electric vehicle for some range. But all of a sudden, this 2016, the Paris Climate Agreement that pushes the EV. Now, the hybrid market is short. It's very much short period. But now, considering the future, it's very less. Hybrid market is very less. This is a good question. Why can't we combine this both? Yeah, this is already tried out by Honda. They already have a prototype running. But the problem is like the efficiency. Because by integrating the two technologies, you obviously are increasing the weight of your vehicle. Then if weight increases, then the mileage drops. This could be technically possible, but at the end of the day, you have to see the trade-off between the cost and the technology. Your technology is very good, but at the same time, your cost should be down. That's how the get knowledge takes. Okay. Any questions?
Any questions?
Okay.
Sir, what will be your company's contribution towards this training mobility?
Okay. As a company, we are a supplier of technology. So we supply components, we supply a control unit, we provide solutions to the customers. For example, if you take electrification, we give a battery management system, we give charging solutions, we give converters, the power converters, we give inverters, we give motors. So almost all the components is getting given to the OEM, and the integration of these components is the responsibility of the customer. So as a service provider or supplier, we supply a vehicle components and we provide a service for them. So we work on all technologies with the component system. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Call upon Kishore for the vote of thanks.
Thanks.
We extend our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed resource person, Mr. M. Saravana Prakash Dharmalingam. Your insightful words are inspiring.